A 20-year-old man was killed in a drive-by shooting in Vicksburg, and Warren County Police Department is working to solve the matter with only a description of the suspect's vehicle. A man is in critical condition after being shot at a Jackson motel. Mayor Lumumba addresses the incident and the rising crime wave in Jackson. The state is seeing a rise in COVID-19 cases after the state mask mandate dissolved in past weeks. We will hear from Governor Tate Reeves on his concerns for the state's health and growing case numbers. The November 3rd election could mean the end of the electoral vote in Mississippi. But how would this affect the voting process established over 100 years ago? All this next on WUNK News. A drive-by shooting in Vicksburg has one man dead this past Monday. As of now, investigators don't have much to go on except a vague car description. A homicide investigation is underway as Vicksburg police are looking for the suspect responsible for the killing of 20-year-old Carl Michael Singleton. Reports say that Singleton was shot multiple times and was transported to Merritt Health River region where he was pronounced dead. Warren County police are working diligently to solve this homicide off of a witness description. The vehicle is said to be a dark-colored sedan. Carl Singleton was taken to the state crime lab for an autopsy. Carl Singleton's birthday was October 25th. He would have turned 21 years old. Jackson County Sheriff's Department is warning residents of threatening texts that some may be receiving. The sheriff is saying that these are merely texts that scam residents out of money. Authorities are informing residents of text messages of dismembered bodies that are being sent to various people. These pictures also come with a text message stating, "You're next," and ask for a payment of $5,900. Though they might seem frightening, authorities assure residents that these messages should not alarm them, as they are sent by a criminal organization called Squadron RB Cartel, a Sinola, and they are sent to scam the receiver out of their money. Residents were told that the caller does know the names and addresses of residents receiving the text. A Moss Point woman has been charged for a drive-by shooting that occurred earlier this month on October 5th. She is currently being charged on 5 counts of drive-by shooting. 25-year-old Khadijah Sinclair Finley was charged for the drive-by shooting in Moss Point on October 5th. Finley drove down Hilma Street and shot her gun into a crowd, but injured no one. Police arrived at the scene, but found no evidence nor victims. Police did receive a report later that day that a 13-year-old boy did receive a small gun wound to the back of the leg. He was transported to Singing River Hospital by someone passing by and saw him laying on the ground. Finley eventually turned herself in to the Moss Point Police Department and is being held at the Jackson County Adult Detention Center. Coming up, a man is in critical condition after being shot at a motel in Jackson. Hear what Mayor Lumumba has to say about the rising crime rates in our beloved city. Next. A shooting at a Jackson motel on Monday has one man in critical condition. Residents and Mayor Lumumba voiced their concerns about the crime in their city. A man is in critical condition after being transported from a shooting scene at Best Value Inn located just off I-55. What started as an altercation ended with 2 wounded men being transported to the hospital. Many residents, including Mayor Lumumba, appear to be tired of the violence circulating throughout the city. Jackson has set up an operation called Safe Inn, where they put emphasis on controlling drugs, prostitution, and crime around the city. The 2 young boys that were missing since October 17th near Mobile have been found with their mother, who is now in custody. Reporter Alexis Jones has more details on the story. The Federal Bureau of Investigation did offer a $2,500 reward for the mother's whereabouts. No other information has been released since she was taken into custody. The new virtual learning environment seems to have some students looking for attention, as one student fakes a kidnapping during his Zoom class session. Dispatchers went to the student's home to find him at home with the presumed suspects. Authorities in Montgomery County, Maryland, were sent to a student's home after his teacher reported seeing him being kidnapped during a class session on Zoom. An 11th grade student from Quince Orchard High School staged the kidnapping by having two of his friends appear in the camera in ski masks while the other held a gun. Once the authorities arrived at the home, the gun turned out to be an airsoft gun and the student planned the whole incident. The principal of the school, Beth Thomas, called this a serious incident and advised parents to talk to their student about appropriate behavior while participating in virtual learning. Also tonight, the state is seeing a rise in COVID-19 cases since the dissolved mask mandate. Is it to blame? We will hear from Governor Tate Reeves and his thoughts on the recent spike after the break. Mississippi COVID-19 cases seem to be on the rise again as the state approaches nearly a month since the mask mandate expired. Health officials are upset that residents aren't taking the necessary precautions to stay safe. Mississippi has doubled its COVID-19 cases since Governor Tate Reeves allowed the mask mandate to dissolve on September 30th. On the 30th, the average daily new cases were around 517. As of today, the average daily new cases sits at 796. Because of increased case numbers, hospitals are running out of beds for patients. Governor Tate Reeves has expressed his concerns and disappointment in residents for not taking the initiative to wear masks. State Health Officer Dr. Thomas Dobbs says that the reason for the recent spike is caused primarily by residents not wearing masks and refusing to social distance themselves. Just as health officials and Governor Tate Reeves are noticing the increase in COVID-19 cases, Tate Reeves has decided to enforce mask mandates in 9 counties. Concerns for these counties are based on the number of hospitalizations since the expired mask mandate in September. Mask mandate have been established in the counties of Chickasaw, Claiborne, DeSoto, Forest, Itawamba, Jackson, Lamar, Lee, and Neshoba. These counties will be required to wear masks inside buildings and limit social gatherings to 10 people indoors and 50 outdoors. These counties fit into the governor's guidelines of having 500 cases per 100,000 residents over 2 weeks and more than 200 total cases over 2 weeks. Because of the case count in the counties, hospitals must have 10% capacity available for COVID patients or delay the treatment of other procedures. Hinds County School District is fighting back against COVID-19 through the use of technology funded by the Federal Coronavirus Relief Fund. This comes just in time as Mississippi is seeing another spike in cases. Hinds County is keeping its students safe by installing bipolar ionization technology in all schools. This device is placed in AC units and has the ability to clean the air and various surfaces. Other school officials approve of the newly installed tech and have confirmed its effectiveness. Keeping its students safe and healthy by using the federal funding to purchase cleaning supplies and furniture as well. After the break, the Electoral College vote has become obsolete to some voters. Will they choose to get rid of it for good? More on the story next. The Electoral College vote has been around for years, but some voters are looking to do away with the Electoral College. On November 3rd, voters will get to decide on just that. The Electoral College vote, alongside the popular vote, has been the traditional way of deciding on Mississippi's governing officials. The November 3rd elections will allow voters to vote to either keep the traditional form of voting or decide to rely strictly on the popular vote of the public. This proposal is known as Measure 2, which states if no candidate gets the majority vote or it ends in a tie, the state will hold a runoff election to decide a winner. The Electoral College vote was first adopted by Mississippi in 1890, but has come under scrutiny in recent years since President Trump lost the popular vote, but still won the presidency through the Electoral College. A California ballot box was set on fire outside of a library this past Sunday night. Police are currently investigating the incident alongside arson investigators to find the cause of the fire. Anchor Alexis Jones has more details on the story. As the fire investigation continues, California voters can request a new ballot through the local circuit clerk office. Had fun at the state fair but don't want the fun to end? Well, lucky for you, the fair has been extended for an extra week. Again, the fair commissioner is encouraging fairgoers to come out for clean, safe fun. Fair Commissioner Andy Gibson has announced to extend the length of the fair from Thursday, October 22nd to Sunday, October 25th. The commissioner saw this as necessary since the first weekend of fun was rained out due to Hurricane Delta. Fair workers said the first weekend was slow because of the rain, but had a larger turnout the following weekend. If you are going to indulge in fair festivities yet again, we ask that you practice social distancing and wear a mask, as the mask mandate has expired and are not required at the fair. Again, stay safe, everyone, and have a blessed night. We'll see you tomorrow night. Good night.